wonder if there's beer on the sun. Hello? I know what that means. Time to talk about Robopit.
Don't know what that is? Don't blame you. Either didn't sell well, or got into time, or a combination of both. Couldn't find sales figures. So what is Robopit? It's a Sega Saturn and PlayStation 1 game released in 1996 that was developed by Ultron and outside of Japan was published by Kokopelli Digital Studios. Kokopelli only has 2 titles officially listed, Robopit and In the Hunt. They were only active a year from 1995 to 1996 and were an internal publishing brand for THQ, which is now THQ Nordic after their bankruptcy. Ultron's game catalog seems to consist of mostly licensed games with a few original games sprinkled about, Robopit being one of them. They still make games today, including Next Gen Solitaire, some kind of dictionary program, a pet simulator game that wouldn't translate to English when I hit the button. Oh, and one more game they have displayed on their website. Trumpy. The hell am I even looking at? Okay, let's just click this. Okay, so it's Trumpy. We own the world. Nice. I don't know if I have words. I don't know if words would do it justice. That's about the best I have. Let's just read the blurb here. Hi, I am Trumpy. Have you heard about me? I am the most famous and most powerful person on earth. I can make people rich, very rich, instantly. And I can also make people very poor, instantly. I will make you a super rich billionaire, and we are going to own the world. Well, there's some kind of super smash. A billionaires club. And profit? Well, hot damn! I might need to check the App Store for this later. Getting back on track. What kind of game is Robopit? Well, it's listed as a fighting game, but it's not your typical fighting game. You build your own robot with a set of bodies, legs, or tank treads or propellers, and arms, which are your weapons. You can change individual parts' colors, and they give you a decent selection for a start. I wish there were more that could be unlocked, but there's enough, I guess. The body and feet affect different stats like turn, jump, health, weight. Once you have your robot finished and named, you're ready to start fighting. There's 100 ranked robots to fight, and you start ranked at 101. You can only scroll so far up the contenders list. As you rank up, you can progress further up until you reach number 1. Though you might have to face them multiple times until you are rank 1. When you beat an opponent, you get their weapons and rank up a little depending on how far up in rank the opponent you fought was, as well as leveling up your weapon skill. When you lose, you rank down and lose your equipped weapons. The fights themselves take place in square arenas with various scenery objects and a couple of obstacles. They also have different daytime lighting settings, and you start in first person. A controls your left arm, B controls your right, C is jump, and the trigger's straight. The D-pad is set up similar to tank controls, where up moves you forward, back moves you back, and left and right turn your robot. Though it's much smoother than it sounds, and feels natural. You can block with X or Y. I didn't know that until near the end of my playthrough. or that Z changes the camera. You can win by either knocking off all of your opponent's health, getting them to ring out, which mostly happened to me during the last fight of the game, or by having the most health at the end of the timer, which only happened to me on the PlayStation 1. You can also jump on your opponent to do a little bit of damage. The AI gets progressively harder, but it's unnoticeable until over halfway up the ranks. And the names of these robots is priceless. What a selection we got here. Names like Boom Frog, Doinker, Kamikaze, Edith, Put 'em Up, Painbot, Clyde, Yo Jimbo, Dum Dum, Bart, Earth Kill, Taxiderm, Trouble, Lancelot, Winky, Napoleon, and Gallagher. And also, I can't forget the Purple XD. I know it's perplexed, but I'll always read that as Purple XD now. What the hell is that name selection? Are those pop culture and video game references? Wait a minute. Winky? Clyde? Really? Bart? Yeah, that fits alongside well with Painbot and Earthkill. These names are honestly hilarious to me. Why are there historical figures? Why is one named Kamikaze? We'll never know. Now, 100 robots seems like a long arcade mode. However, since you can fight well above your rank, you can progress relatively quickly. I kinda took advantage of the save system to make the experience easier on myself. That's what it's there for, right? No, I definitely exploited it. In my defense, my old Saturn save battery was dead, and at the time, I didn't know how to change it. So I was unable to save any progress and never got that far. So yes, now I took full advantage of it, and then some. With no saving, the game is a bit brutal, but using it excessively and cheaply makes it pretty easy peasy. There's actually a bit of strategy in who you choose to fight. Yes, the further up the rank you face, the faster you'll rank up, but there's other factors to consider, such as what loadout they're using, and if you'll stand a chance against their weapon set. Do they have one of the weapons you use? That way you can get backups to save if you lose one of yours later. Some weapons are quick, some are powerful, some have better distance, and the more powerful the gun, the less ammo it'll have. So better make those shots count. Fists can pick up objects as well as punch, and also come in different sizes with higher damage that are slower. Shields might improve or block or health, I couldn't tell. There's a bunch of other weapons as well that have advantages and disadvantages, such as the boomerang, slicer, big hand, and big lips! Okay, those last two sound weird, but they do serve a purpose. They bring the enemy to you.
Get over here!
Most of these weapons you have to unlock through victory. You only have so many options at first. This adds strategy as you go. You want to go all offensive? You want a ranged weapon? My personal robot has a small gun for the left arm, giving me a decent amount of shots as well as distance, and a comma for the right, giving me a good damage at a closer range. When using a melee weapon, the direction you press the D-pad will determine how you swing. Left and right swing your weapon from the sides, allowing you to swipe opponents at your side. Holding down will slash upwards, pushing them back, though it's noticeably slower. Forward will slash downwards, and just pressing the button will do a standard slash. Once out of ammo with a ranged weapon, it will switch to punching. Some weapons are ranged and have no ammo, but require you to wait for your weapon to return. As you take damage, a small bar will fill up beside your health bar. It's a special meter that you can unleash by hitting A and B simultaneously. There's a standard ramming move available to all robots that can be used by also holding forward that will launch you in the direction you're facing, and the others are determined by the arms you have equipped. There's not much of a story here, except for the intro sequence before the start menu. It's something I was pleasantly surprised to find at the end of my journey. I don't know about you, but that intro pumps me up into getting into some robot fights. Speaking about things from the game that get you pumped up, let's talk about that music. I love the music from this game. 3 tracks stand out in particular to me. Track 14, the robot making music. Track 13, the menu music. Track 3. The music has a little bit of everything you need. It's got some jazzy and relaxing tracks, as well as a good selection of tracks that get you psyched up and in the zone. I also love the use of ambient sound effects, such as the operator sound clip in track 14. Even though there's 100 robots worth of fighting to rank 1, it didn't take me long to get there. I had to grind a little bit to officially hit rank 1. Once I did, I found a little surprise. Now, scattered all throughout the robots on the list, there are bosses, robots whose position are fixed, and are all in shadow with no preview of their weapons, except for Take It, who on the Saturn is not in silhouette and also has a different body from the PlayStation 1 version. I beat all of them on my way up, though it's not required. After getting the number 1, you return to the ladder to fight. You'll find a new silhouetted robot named Zenith at rank 0. There are no stakes, as your rank and weapon skills don't change, as well as not losing your weapons. This was nice to figure out, saving myself time from reloading pointlessly. This guy is tough! Not kidding. It took me just as long to beat him alone as it took me to beat all the other robots combined to get to number 1. He kicked my ass. Over and over and over and over again. Getting up close is a no-go, since blocking doesn't seem to help at all here, and he fires that ranged arm quite frequently. I'm guessing that it has infinite ammo as well? Once he gets one hit in, he'll stagger you and rack up hits. With the damage he does, it doesn't take long to drain your health. In the end, after a long struggle, I managed to beat Zenith by mostly jumping on him and staying in the air as much as possible.
It's me, Mario!
Upon my victory and initial excitement, whoa! I was met by another surprise. A victory screen proclaiming me champion, featuring my robot battling its way to victory in a blue nebulous void. I honestly wasn't expecting any kind of end screen other than maybe a picture, so this was a pretty nice cherry on top of finally beating Zenith. I played the Sega Saturn version for this review, though I do have both versions. The PlayStation version is the more polished game. You start in third person and select controls the camera. Block is easier to find at triangle, and square is the left arm while circle is the right. X is jump, and the bottom triggers control the special attacks. Other than that, the controls are the same. Some of the robots have different names, though they fit into the same theme we got here. Bosses are different and have special weapons that are unavailable, unlike the Saturn, and are not hidden in shadow in the PlayStation. Also, the narrator actually reads his lines smoothly. The Saturn version lacks this polish, and he frequently forgets a word when announcing the results. It's kinda great. I didn't beat the PlayStation version, I just played enough to get some comparisons since I'm not as attached to that version. This seems as good a time as any to talk about my personal experiences with the game and its main draw to me. When I was a kid late in middle school, I got a Sega Saturn with a couple games, including Robopit in a garbage bag. I forgot who gave it to me or how I got it, but I remember the garbage bag. It was a basketball game and a hockey game. We also had Nights into Dreams and a 3D controller to boot. The highlight of our Saturn play was always Robopit. Even if we couldn't save our robots for next time, we still had tons of fun goofing around. And I still have fond memories of fighting makeshift tournaments with my brother and my cousins. Multiplayer is definitely where the game shines. The AI goes from not challenging at all to brutal, whereas multiplayer feels more like a fair challenge. That's not to say that combat is super balanced. It's not. But nothing beats kicking the shit out of your buddy's robot and watching it slowly drift back and explode as the narrator stutters out the results. When he remembers to. I still come back to this with friends every now and then. This was the first time I beat the ladder, and that was personally satisfying, no matter how I got there.
Would I recommend Robopit? Yeah, I would. I wouldn't recommend it for a single player, and it has no story. But I'd recommend it for a good day of robot fighting with friends. The game's definitely a bit of a diamond in the rough, and even though it had a lot of potential that I didn't feel it squandered, I do feel it certainly could have been more polished, and it could have been built upon a little more. But overall, it was a good game. Not that good of a game. Definitely pretty damn flawed, but I enjoyed the hell out of it. Maybe it's just my rose-tinted glasses, but the game sounds fun or interesting to you. The game received mixed reviews, from great to meh. I think the game is a pretty great multiplayer experience, so definitely check it out. Now there's a sequel release for PlayStation only, but I don't have that. You can bet once I do, I'll definitely review it as well. Well, thank you guys for tuning in and listening to me ramble about one of my favorite games. If you're not already subscribed, please do. It helps a hell of a lot. I got more stuff coming, a bunch of little projects that I've been working on that should be up soon, as well as, the bigger projects I've been trying to push through. I also live stream twice a week with mixed results. Well, I hope you enjoyed, and have a great day, everybody. Now, I'm going to end this video. Aha!
This is where I would put links to other videos I've made, if I made any. Guess I'll just leave you on some advice from Trumpy himself, some of that kickin' Robopit music. Earn and invest a lot of money, and you will become the world's richest person, and the world will be yours. Remember, always think of yourself first, others later. It should always be me first.